I'll tell the Kenexa story, but rather than go through it in bits and pieces, I'll give you the 2 or 3 or 4 learnings I took. And I'll compare it to China because we do business there. So let me start out with selling in India. We went to India about 5, 6 years ago with 3 objectives. Number 1, we're a software company. We didn't want any more software engineering to be done in either the US or in Europe. We failed. Objective number 2, we wanted to build the best back office operation of our organization in India. We failed. Number 3, we wanted sales to break even in India, just for the selling cost, just so we could develop our brand there. We failed. We have about 350 employees in India. We own about 25 acres of land. We built our first building there in conjunction with the government. We've had moderate successes along the way. Let me start with the selling. Let me start with the bottom going up. In India, we invested close to $4.5 million so far. Our total sales in 2010 will be, ready for this number? $350,000 with margins of negative 400%. Amazing. In China, we've invested $2.5 million. In 2010, our sales will be $5 million with margins of 20%. In China, we JV'd our way into it. In India, we greenfielded it. Why did we do that? Because of my ego. I'm in India. I figured I could do it in India. In China, I needed help. Boy, I learned the lesson the hard way. So all of you guys who think you're Indian, going to India, you're not. You are what my daughter calls a coconut. You're brown on the outside, you're white on the inside. I've been discriminated more times in India than I have in the US. I wasn't allowed out of the Mumbai airport because I couldn't speak either Hindi or Gujarati or one of those languages. I've lost the languages. My family left over 100 years ago. We've been gypsies since then. I've been discriminated by government officials. I'm a pretender CEO in Germany because I'm Indian. In China, I'm an American. In India, I'm not American. I'm Indian. So I see a lot of Indian faces here. You're not. It's not American. It's a different country. Learn from my lesson. What you would get $350,000 of sales with negative 400%. Build the best back office. Well, the term best is relative. The problem in India is yes doesn't necessarily mean yes. Yes means maybe tomorrow. And that's a huge problem. Because what happens is it's not a cultural issue insofar as it's a communication issue. And until you learn those nuances, it is very difficult for us to have a highly efficient back office there. And the thing that we have learned is unless somebody is there with their finger on the button every single day, somehow the other things go awry overnight. Like, it's amazing. And I've seen things, I've seen process plans that are laid out, perfectly executed upon, while I'm there. The next day it all changes. It's like this computer's got its own worm and then created a new process plan for me. I don't know how it happened. But that's India. So what you got to learn is if you are going to operate in India, you have to have your finger on the pulse. Now, the first thing that we failed in, a very simple reason is this, that Indian engineers come of one of two varieties. They are the most innovative engineers around. They are incredibly innovative. However, small companies like ours can't afford either. We can afford them financially, we can't afford them from a brand standpoint. They'd rather be at Google and Microsoft. The other engineers, There's a lot of, have you ever seen the movie Three Idiots? Anyone here seen the movie? Yeah, okay, so we've got the second place guy in class, right? Great memory guys who really know how to write code, but they can't innovate. And so we had to restart our operations here on the software side to be closer to the customer information. You get the code written, the QA done, but you couldn't actually get new product design and innovation without having expatriates there. So one of the lessons we learned is that our magic number is around 60 to 1. If we have one expatriate to about 60 locals, we're doing fine. More than that, it's too expensive. Less than that, things go awry. Because you assume that, in a shop of about 350 people, you have 6 or 7 expatriates. Just the law of averages, out of the 6 or 7, 2 are losers, so you're left with 4 or 5, and they're kind of managing the 80 to 90, right? So, I mean, there is, you make mistakes as you make those decisions. India is the #1 land of opportunity. I'll repeat that sentence. India is the #1 land of opportunity. I've been fortunate in that I spend about a third of my time outside the country. I've probably seen more than half the countries in the world. Spent a lot of time in China, India, Middle East. And the reason that India is the #1 opportunity is that the people are doing well in spite of the government. I'll repeat that. The population is doing well in spite of the government. There is such a high degree. People use fancy words like transparency. Let's just call it what it is. It's corruption and bribery. There is more corruption and bribery in India than any other place in the world for the government. Okay? It's very difficult to do business there. If you've got to get the papers done, this thing signed, the transaction, it takes months and months and months and months. In spite of that, the country's doing well. And therefore, that is going to get corrected. I'll tell you a little story, because I happened to be in India the year. Remember about 4 years ago or 3 years ago when there was the crisis between India and Pakistan, and kind of the switches were going on in the nuclear missiles, and then kind of India back down? You know why did I come? Because there was 6 of us in New Delhi. Bill Gates was one of them. He says, "You don't back down, I'm pulling out." Did he say that? I don't know. But I can tell you, a lot of the business people were sitting. And India had the strength and the courage to start taking up his mouth, and then allow Pakistan to interpretation. So there are things there that are so phenomenal. It is truly, truly the land of opportunity.